A tough game, simply because I think that's the identity that the Panthers play with. I think Jeff has done an amazing job of getting his kids to just run through a wall and play hard. They came in having won 5 in a row. I thought their energy the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the second half allowed them to get right back in the game, pushed us around onto the basket. They pressured the ball. They play with a swagger. They play with a toughness. And they're going to win more games than they did a year ago. And we knew that coming in. I think when you go against McGowan's and Xavier Johnson, they just play downhill. And, Xavier had a couple pull-ups that I don't want to say we'd give them, but we just didn't want them getting to the rim. And for them to only shoot 6 free throws, we did our job. And, so we lived to move on, and happy that we started ACC play this early in the season at 2-0.
First half, you guys were 9 of 17 from 3, only had 8 points in the paint. Second half, it kind of switched a little bit, 16 points in the paint and 9 3-point attempts. What led to that?
Well, I think really if you look at some of the threes that we made in the first half, we were running offense. Those were open shots. We weren't taking ill-advised shots. I thought the ball touched the paint or at least got close to the lane on several of those 3-point attempts, and that's when the defense will converge. A few times they went zone. We executed what we wanted to run, and we got the looks that we wanted. So I don't know if we wore them down or just found the sweet spot in the second half. But we always want to be a team that tries to live in the lane, that tries to get paint touches, and then whatever shot presents itself from there, we'll take.
Coach, statistically, Malik Williams had his best game of the year tonight. Did you feel like there was anything different in his play compared to other games? If so, what would that be?
Well, I think, he was out for 2 months. So to expect him to come in the first game or two and be maybe what you saw tonight, I think that's asking probably too much. But I thought he did what we've come to expect. His voice on the defensive end, his ability to help his guard teammates contain the basketball in ball screen situations, affect shots at the rim without fouling. I think there were 6-7 minutes, maybe even less in the second half, and we had 3 team fouls against a very aggressive offensive team. And so I think that talks a lot about just being disciplined, positional defense, and a guy like Malik certainly embodies that.
Fresh and Darius had some, I guess you could say, questionable turnovers. What did you think of their overall play tonight?
They didn't play great offensively, but I thought Fresh didn't let it affect him on the defensive end. He was terrific. He still ran his team. The pressure bothered him and bothered Darius for a little bit. They have to be better, and they will be, and they need to be for us to continue to get better. But tonight are going to help us get over those type of situations and deal with it.
What was your first reaction when Jordan went down? What were you thinking, that he might be out for a few
sheer
minutes?
Panic. I saw his expression, and I think that's the first thing that I look for when a guy goes down. Sometimes they just want rest, but when you see like a little bit of fear or a little bit of panic, which I saw that in Jordan for a second. I think he thought, he said it almost came out. And I said, well, did it come out? And he said, no. I said, well, almost doesn't count. But no, I was, you don't want to lose your best player.
Yeah. How did you keep the team focused during that timeout?
Well, it was an extended period of time, and I think we had made a few really good energy plays that I don't want to say completely swung the momentum, but didn't continue to allow the slide that was sort of happening at the beginning of the half. We had made a couple big-time plays. Even on that one, I think we scored a bucket. And so we had a little bit of momentum in our favor. And so when our guys huddled up, I didn't have to say a whole lot. I know they had, just like I did, concern for Jay. But, we do have some older guys, some guys that have been in the locker room for a long time, some fifth-year seniors, and it was sort of business as usual as they went back out on the floor, not knowing if Jordan was going to return or not.
How did you feel about the way that your team ended this ball game here?
I think it's 2 games in a row where We got stops. We didn't allow second shots. We ran the clock on offense. We got great looks. We got layups. And that's a killer. Defensively, you take a few more chances when you're that team that's behind and you're desperate to get back in it. And for us to be able to get the ball reversed, set the screens that we wanted, get layups, that's just backbreaking. And then again, defensively, I thought we were, outside of the first 5-6 minutes, very tough to get in the lane on and tough to get second shots against. And that was a separator.
Chris, in the first half, you had 8 different guys get a 3. Can you just talk about the fact that this team, I mean, you don't have, I mean, Brian's obviously your shooter, but you can spread that around, and Malik hit 1, Steven hit 1, and just a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have an extremely good shooting team. I think we've got an elite shooting team at times, and we're just learning when it's a good shot and when it's not. You know, this team, I shouldn't say this team, but the team last year didn't understand that at times. You know, if you've struggled in 3 or 4 straight possessions, you don't take a one-pass 3 or a transition 3, no matter who you are. And I think our team has really learned that. You know, Jordan has let the game come to him. Ryan is a completely different player from a year ago. Darius, although he didn't play his best tonight, has really matured. You know, my older guys have gotten smarter despite me with the game of basketball.
What do you think of Sam tonight? He got some more play than he has in the past couple games.
Yeah, I mean, I put him in because I think, you know, his energy level last game was great. You want to reward guys for, you know, doing their thing. I thought Dwayne wore down a year ago, and so we're sort of cognizant of him playing 38, 39 minutes. You know, Sam's getting better and better and better, and so I want him to get out on the floor, and I trust him in situations. He's learning. You know, at the end of the half, and it's probably not Sam's fault so much as his 4 teammates. We didn't echo the play call, so we had 4 guys running a play that I think would have resulted in the same layup that Malik got in the second half, deep in the second half, and we reversed the ball to the wrong side because Sam didn't know the action. But you can only teach so much without giving those guys opportunity to play, and so it's always good when your young guys get a chance to do it on the floor in games.
Coach, Pitt pressed you guys a little bit tonight and several times, and you all were able to break the press tonight. How much have you worked on that after last year, that being something you guys really struggled with? Yeah,
a lot more. A lot more. We knew that they would go 2-2-1. We also knew that if it came down to maybe a 5-point, 6-point lead with a minute or 2 minutes, that they were going to change their pressure into full court man-to-man, run and jump, where it's a little more random. Zone pressure is a little bit more, you know, you got to get guys in certain spots, pass fake, and get the ball up the floor in the open areas. Man pressure with guys running and jumping, it's a little bit more random, but we've worked on both. We've worked on ball security and being ball strong, pass faking, recognizing when teammates are getting chased down. And we're not perfect, but we're much better than we were a year ago, especially this early in December.
In the back here. Take 2 more. Chris,
I know you're still trying to digest this one, but can you talk about the opportunity ahead to play in Madison Square Garden and play a team like Texas Tech?
I've talked to our guys a little bit about it here in the locker room just after the game. I mean, it's a great experience. You know, I've been very fortunate because I was in the Big East for a while to coach a lot of games at MSG. And the stage lighting, the history of the building, you know, when you walk in the bowels of the building and, you know, they have posters of Michael Jackson and, you know, autographed by him and the Rolling Stones. I mean, it's, you know, not to mention the basketball that's played there, that's been played there. You know, it's Jordan's favorite, you know, arena in the NBA. I mean, it's just, it's a cool experience. And so we're very fortunate to be able to play, number one, in that venue, and then to be able to play a national name that we have a lot of respect for. A year ago, they were in the national championship game. And so Beard texted me today out of the blue. Said he likes watching our team, so he's trying to butter me up already, and I'm not having it. But you don't do what he's done and what their program's done if you're not an incredibly well-coached program. And so we have a lot of respect. I know they've lost 3 in a row, but they're going to defend better than any team we've played thus far, and we're going to have to be ready.
Speaking of texting, did Scott Satterfield text you, or did he take out a protection order to keep you off his lawn?
Coach Sat did not text me. We received a text about 11:30 or midnight and said, "Do you know your garage door is open?" And so Christy went to the door that leads out into the garage, and there was about 40 pounds of toilet paper on our doorstep. So they were smart to get it out of the trees and off the gutters and out of the pine trees before the morning, because it rained. I shouldn't have spoiled the secret and made life harder for them, but that's all right. Thanks, guys.